Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
Doing a review on the T30, a subscriber request on the vid. Shout out to you. Thank you for the request. I have quite the compiling list that's building up, and I'm going on getting through it. So if you haven't seen yours yet, you will eventually, promise. So the T30 review, is it good? How do you play with this thing? The T30 is a unique tank, a very unique tank destroyer, I should say, specifically at that. My personal opinion on this tank, I love it. I think it's an excellent tank destroyer and very, very dangerous in the hands of a good player and one that knows how to use it. First of all, doing a quick dive into the armor profile, it has an excellent turret. Very, very strong, almost impenetrable from the front. However, you do have those little bit of weak points, the side cheeks on the turret. I don't know if I've ever really been penned there. Just to be safe, I know I'm more concerned about the cupola on top, and I do kind of shake back and forth when I'm hull down, just to make it a little bit more difficult when enemies are trying to take shots on me. But you really don't have any hull armor. Your hull's pretty weak, but you have good gun depression. So the way that you want to use this thing is, I've got a replay here for you that you guys can just watch. It's interesting because you play it, if you guys know, if you have the T34, Tier 8 American Heavy, it's almost in a way kind of more so played like that. Unlike a lot of other Tier 9 tank destroyers in the game, the way that you play with this thing is more frontline. You play it more like a heavy tank, which is interesting. So you have great turret armor. You want to protect your hull. You've got good gun depression, and you've got great penetration. You've got an average of 640 damage per shot, which is just great. And but your accuracy isn't it doesn't have that same feel as others do that are as great. So really putting this thing to be best in the position of the front line. You can't really do that with a Waffenträger. It's differently played than a T95. This thing, you've heard the terms of like Heavium. I've just kind of made up one of my tips and tricks, like Medievi. This thing is like a heavy destroyer. So this one is very so much played more like a heavy tank. And that's what can make this thing so aggressive or so dangerous, is you can really get up front, personal, and really put players in a bad spot. And you've got great penetration. Now, when I was going through and picking my top favorite tanks per tier, this one was one of the competing ones for Tier 9 that was pretty hard. The AMX 30 was my favorite Tier 9, but if it weren't for that tank, the T30 very well could have been that competing tank to win that place. And so these are just my thoughts on the T30. I think it's an excellent tank, especially if you know how to play. If you're trying to shoot really far back in the map, like how you do with like sometimes a grill, or a Waffenträger RHM, or things that are a little more glass cannon-ish, that's not really where the T30 shines. This thing is definitely more of a frontline attacker. So anyway, hope this helps. This is my review on the T30. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.